and thanks for joining me. Today, I wanted to provide three reasons to why I think there is this move towards Meg Energy when it comes to potential acquisitions. I'm going to give you three main reasons to why I think what's happening is unfolding as we speak. Just a quick reminder: Strathcona Resources made a bid, I would say, about a month ago, uh, to acquire Meg. But now it seems like Meg gave a timeline for whoever was in the data room to make their bids by Monday. So basically, in about 4 or 5 days, there's this deadline that I personally wasn't aware of. But I told everyone, okay, make your bids basically. And so there's this article that came from Financial Post suggesting Synovus could be one of the companies that will be making a bid, but we don't really know what if that's what's going to happen or how things going to unfold. But let me provide maybe three reasons to why I think there is value to the company and why I think other companies will find it attractive when we're potentially looking at more bids. First reason could be seen in this table here. This is original bitumen in place and cumulative bitumen production. And as you can see in the table, when it comes to their project area, so project area right here, we can see that there's about 4.1 billion barrels original bitumen in place barrels that located in the project development area. For the development area where they're currently developing is about half, is about 2.2 billion barrels. And the combined active well pattern is about 0.9 billion, right? So overall cumulative oil production as of December 31st, 2023 is about 0.3 billion. So we could assume maybe at 100,000 barrels per day, current cumulative production is about 4.4 billion barrels. And they've been operating since about 2010, I would say. So it's about 15 years, but they've been ramping up production going towards 30,000 barrels a day. And today they're producing close to 104, 105,000 barrels per day. And obviously there's plan for brownfield expansion where it could take them kind of closer to 130, 135,000 barrels per day. But that requires a little bit of a capital that they've been allocating here in the next couple of years. But I think one of the reasons to why this company is very valuable is that if you notice from the project area, the cumulative recovery is only at 9%, meaning there's close to 90% to be recovered from the project area. The development area recovery is at 16%. So there's another at least 80% to go. And from the combined active well pattern area, which is the current pads that they're operating, it's about 40%. So, and because they're like kind of a low decline asset, there is lots of opportunity here and not really develop much or spend a lot of capital and basically continuing kind of their activities while having a very long reserve life index. So reserve life index, it's RLI. Very long RLI is one of the reasons to why Meg could be very attractive for companies that considering making a bid. The second reason why I think the company looks really attractive for other people that could make a bid to acquire the company is a very low decline rate when it comes to the oil rate. So as mentioned before, they went to 5,000 cubes in kind of towards 2011, 2012, producing about 5,000 cubes a day in oil production rate, which is close to 30,000 barrels a day. But as you can see here, from January 14th or January 16th, they're basically kind of ramping up production as function of their expansion program in phase 2B to bring more kind of steam capabilities and therefore produce close to 100,000 barrels per day. And that production been very flat since I would say January 2018 or so. So basically very flat production and no decline essentially on the asset. Obviously they're bringing the well count is increasing. Not too badly. So if you look at the producing well count, which is the gray line, so it's the increase is not significant, and the reason why they don't have to really drill that many wells to maintain their stable production. But what's really valuable about this concept is low decline. So low decline. So the first reason why I think they were valuable is because there was high RLI. And the second reason is low decline. Essentially, on the asset, they're producing very steady oil production rates with very low cost of supply. And you can see here they have capabilities here to inject even more steam, to kind of allocate that steam in a smart way to improve oil production as they continue co-injecting non-condensable gases on their kind of late life pads and continue kind of optimizing those operations. So the first reason why I think they're valuable here was long RLI, so long reserve life index. And the second reason is low decline on the asset. We specified the first two reasons. Now we're going to address the third reason why I think, and then I'll give you a fourth reason, bonus reason to why I think they're very valuable. So what we see here is basically their typical reservoir parameters for the development area. So they have very nice geology. So that will be average pay height, so 24 meters. They have very nice porosity, so about 34% porosity. Pay water saturation, so water saturation is between 0.15 to 0.4, but that essentially means that this is SW value, but their SO is based on like my research previously is about 80%. So 80%, which suggests their average SW could be maybe about 20%. So that's another reason. Average horizontal permeability in Darcy is very high. And yes, this is not a typo. It's not millidarcy, it's Darcy's. It's 5 Darcys. So the flow ability of the fluid to flow through porous media, which is essentially permeability, is very high. And average vertical permeability is about 2.5, but I think on their wells it's a little bit higher than the average one. Reservoir pressure is typical 2.1 MPa, and reservoir temperature is about 13. So I guess what I'm trying to say, the third reason is that they have very, very clean, homogeneous geology. Now, if I was to demonstrate kind of what this looks like in my little model here, so you may recall that we have the steam chambers, we have injector well right here, production well right here, and then maybe an infill well right there, which they do have a lot of infill wells. So the geology inside the strawberry is very clean, it's very homogeneous, and there is very good permeability where the fluid can flow through porous media and grow basically the chambers with minimal inclined hydrolytic stratifications or heterogeneity. So that's one of the benefits when it comes to the Christina Lake asset. Now I'm going to give you another fourth reason as a bonus to why I think it's a valuable company. So the final reason, the bonus reason I want to provide is that this company, they have significant infrastructure, constructed and planned surface facility infrastructure within the development area. And the emphasis here is on what's being already constructed. So they have a lot of process facilities, a lot of pipe on site, a lot of capabilities to generate steam, handle emulsion in the back. Because remember, when we produce the oil, there's lots of gas, there's lots of liquids, aqueous and oleic components coming back to the facilities. And so there is this need to separate the streams, recycle the steam, the water, regenerate the steam, and co-inject the steam, but also separate the oil, and obviously it goes to sales. So the fourth reason why I think it's a valuable company is basically their significant investment that took place when it comes to their capex, surface facilities and infrastructure, all the pads that you already have on site. Facilities that I described also support the significant network of pads that they have already in their geology, as you can see on this map. So a significant amount of activity when it comes to PEL design, redevelopment plan, infill integration. So the company does a really good job from that aspect. Just to quickly kind of summarize what I think is going on here. So currently Meg, got kind of an initial offer from Strathcona. Seems like there are some things that are, developing towards next week when we could potentially see some other bidders coming and maybe bidding for the company. But in quick summary, there are 4 main reasons to why this company is valuable. The first reason is that they have high reserve life index. As mentioned before, from their development area, they have about 80% more oil to go. So that could be as high as 40, 50 years of additional production. From the overall region, they produced only about 10, 11%. So then another 90% to go over there. The other thing we talked about was low decline, so essentially very kind of flattish looking oil production curve, except the turnarounds when you saw this is basically facilities maintenance and that's required. So sometimes they'll drop the steam injection rate, therefore the oil production rate will decline. And so that was the second reason. So basically steady oil production rates. Third was low cost of supply and very good geology. As I mentioned, their permeability was about 5 Darcy, good operating pressure of 2.1 MPa or so, very nice porosity, very high oil saturations. And the fourth reason was the significant network of surface facilities, the capex investment that took place historically, and their ability to be at large scale on an asset that we currently don't see anymore such big assets such as Meg, Christina Lake asset. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.